I love it so much.
So good. So, thank you for hopping on. I'm sorry I can't. Sorry I can't be on with you
Oh!
for the live stream. But I'm so happy we could able to do this. And
This is
if you choose to play this whole thing, you get a 2-hour break. Go eat a snack while you play this for everyone.
I was gonna say, I'm not sure how I'll go about doing it. If I'll cut some things up and feature
whatever
those
you want.
specific
I'll
things.
send it to you. Use it at your
But-
discretion, good sir.
Yeah.
But I could not be. This was so long overdue anay.
It was.
For us to just catch up and
Yeah.
talk, and it's so good to see you.
It's so good
And
seeing you too.
Literally, we feel like, it was so long ago when we did that puppet thing. But honestly, rewatching it again and watching it back, it's like I remember it like it was yesterday.
Yeah.
It was so. And that's one of those great things, and I love, collaborating with fellow creatives that love what they do, that really care so much about what they do and how they put their art out there. It's like, and then when you get, people that jive, humors jive,
Yeah.
energies jive, and you can have fun doing it, and I think that shows. I feel that way as a voice actor, and I tell everybody that's getting into it is like it all stems from joy. I say that with puppetry as well. The foundational element of what you and I do in our respective careers and things is joy. And if you don't love what you do, if you're not loving it, if you're not enjoying it, then something's missing. Right?
Yeah.
And if you love what you do and if you love while you're doing it, like that comes through. I think that comes through in the content. It comes through in the performance. The authenticity of that love and joy comes through. And to bring it back to Adam, that is like nothing if not authentic love and joy that stemmed from him.
Yeah.
That like emanated from him in all of his artwork too, in the later days of his life while he was battling this just unfathomable battle that he was battling for 2 years.
Yeah.
Was drawing still and like even though he was losing a lot of motor function, wasn't able to do a lot of the stuff, but he would still make some art. And they had in his hometown they were doing these beautiful galleries to showcase his art. It was just it was really beautiful.
I think
he was just a beautiful man, just a beautiful human being.
I think that's what it touched me so much, because you're right. Like I think when you see somebody out there unabashedly chasing their passion, you're doing the same thing, it's power. It resonates with you because you're just like, that's exactly what you're trying to do. And as I've like we've been doing this for some time, it really has been this evolution of me kind of stripping away this worry about anything else other than doing something that it makes me happy, focusing on the work that makes me happy. And Adam's such a good example of that. That it's like,
and doing it to the end. To the very end,
which
literally.
is what I would aspire to do.
100%.
Like that's
100%.
It's such a good example to follow, with the life that we're given. And I think that's again, this whole episode, working with so many cool people, doing something that to me was,
because puppets are cool.
Yeah, to me
Puppets
it's
are
like
cool.
it's magic.
It is magic, and like I said, I share that sentiment with you, with a lot of my fellow professional colleagues that are far more esteemed in the puppetry world than I am, and have been doing it a lot longer than I am. I've been doing it for 25 years, but I work with folk that have been doing it for 40 to 50 years.
Yeah,
and it's magic. Bringing these characters, any character, to life in that way, and even for that one audience member, that one kid, that one person, like you have such a great reach that your videos touch a lot of people. But even if it's just that one, you're like, and I think you're one of those creators. I'm one of those creators. Like, even if it's just that one person, I've done my job.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
Yes, I think if
I brighten someone's day, if I help them through something.
Yeah, that's
you and I had talked briefly. We had texted because we've texted a bunch over the years, even though we haven't really got to hang out since that day, really. I don't think we've seen each other in the human world since then. But I felt the same way. I got to, for a couple years right before COVID, I got to tour with Mystery Science Theater, and I got to play those characters and talk about but again, right? And I think we had even bonded about that before. We had talked about it.
I was flipping out when I saw that you were doing that. I was like, they are like my heroes.
Yeah, same. I mean, it was like getting to work on that show in the live version of it was like the culmination of everything that I have ever done in life. Yeah, meshed into one. It just made sense.
You're like, it's all full circle.
Yeah, it was really like this serendipitous moment, and I've talked about when I auditioned for that show. It was like, I've been auditioning for this. I've been preparing to audition for the show for 35 years. Yeah. You know what I mean? And I think that's what helped land me the gig. I mean, it just all worked. But more to the point of that, me bringing that up, is that I saw firsthand that is a show that is indelible, left an indelible mark on a lot of people. And we would do meet and greets after the show, 1,000 seats, theaters, just uproarious laughter, which is nothing better. It's just nothing better than to go out there, crack wise, and have people just laughing. It's just the greatest feeling in the world. But then afterwards, getting to do these meet and greets with these people, and we had a moment. I'll have one interaction that I'll never forget. It was an older lady, and not to bring the room down. But it was an older lady, and she came up. She paid a VIP ticket to come take pictures with Joel and with the bots, right? That was everybody take a picture with the bots, of course. Who wouldn't want to take a picture with the bots? Right. And she came up, and she was like, thank you, guys. This night was amazing. She's like, this show means so much to me. She said, my husband died 40 years ago, and I was devastated. It was very sudden. I was devastated. And she said the reason that the show means a lot to her is that she was flipping through this, sitting depressed and flipping through the channels, and that show came on Comedy Central. This was either in the late 80s or the early 90s. She was like, this was in the early 90s. Comedy Central's where you got it. Just passed. And she said, your show was the first time I had laughed in a year, full years. The first time I just naturally laughed. And since then, she'd been a diehard fan of the show. And she shared us that story, and it was so beautiful. And we were all like, should we hug? Yeah. So, we all gave her this hug, and she was just so happy to just have a moment with the bots, even though we're these upstart people that were just doing it live. These are not the bots that she loved back in the 90s. But her sharing that story of the show means a lot because this was the first time that I ever laughed. Like I said, you know what I mean? When you just touch that one person in doing something, bringing some joy. Yeah, that's a lot of people. So we got a lot of those. A lot of people talking about this show got me through hard times. This helped me through a tough time.
It always blows me away
when get away for a little bit.
Yeah, it really does still blow me away whenever I hear something like that from somebody. And I'm sure you have heard a lot of you've gotten many things like that your videos have helped. It's wild.
Kids go through stuff, especially some of the subject matter and stuff that you tackle.
Yeah.
Helping them, something even deeper than our particular video, but having people that are having the same questioning things, and not sure what to do, and you giving them that little, hey, it's okay kind of thing. Right. It's so it's self-therapeutic for me because a lot of times the one that I'm currently working on is spoilers exclusive here. Tell us what it is.
I feel like whoever's going to be watching this, I think I've been public about it before, but the one that I'm currently working on,
they're shouting at the screen right now. We know.
Yeah, I'm currently working on one that's purely for me to. Well, it was initiated because I wanted to talk and work through something that I was dealing with, and maybe it will resonate with someone. But it's primarily something we did one on intrusive thoughts because Joan dealt with intrusive thoughts a lot when they were younger.
Sure.
And to do that video, you have to do it involves research and kind of personifying intrusive thoughts in a way that kind of takes the vinegar out of it.
Right, kind of like what Inside Out did.
Yes, and it helps
with sadness.
Right.
Personifying her.
It in a way, doing these videos helps us figure it out.
I've told like what people. Sanders' sides. So to just talk about Sanders' sides again, like just the theme of it, of how it's like the sides of your personality, and then they become their own personality. Like they become personified, and just telling that people are like, that's genius. I'm like, yeah, I know, and he does it really well, and it's really funny.
How I stumbled into it, I will never understand, but.
Right, that's how I feel.
All.
So you know what I say? It found you.
It did.
I say that puppetry and voiceover like found me, and I've gotten to tell a lot of stories and tell a lot of tales and make a lot of people laugh through doing this. And it found me, and it's part of who I am, and just that's part of who you are.
So cool. Yeah. And, truly.
It's a special thing. It's a really special thing. And my goodness, our collaboration was so special to me. It resonates with me still as one of my favorite things that I've ever gotten to do. I got to be Crow T Robot. And your video is one of my favorite things that I've ever gotten to do. You're in the top 5, my guy.
Yeah,
I'm saying. You're in the top 5, Thomas.
That means a lot, and I agree. I think that's why this meant a lot to me, because this is one of the coolest memories.
Yeah, and I'm sorry I was the one to like break the news to you about Adam's passing.
No, well, I mean,
but I felt compelled to.
It made a lot of sense for you to let me know.
Our triumphant connection, the triumvirate. We were the three of he put us all together, and we got to create something really cool. So I'm happy we got to talk about it and celebrate Adam about it. And we got to do something again.
Do it again. Well,
puppet or no, but
whatever. It seems like it's doable.
I live in this 4 walls, man. I'm happy to go out anytime, but I'm happy to meet with you while I'm in these walls.
I have a desire at some point, in some form or fashion, to make use of the puppets again. So I'm going to be texting you whenever that happens.
Anytime, my friend.
But truly, thank you and Adam both for making such a happy memory for me and Joan and so many who watched it. It was such a lovely memory of a project. So I look back on it so fondly, and you all made that possible. So I thank you. And
it's truly my pleasure. No thanks necessary. Where's my thank you?
I'm so sorry. I completely forgot about you.
Benny, the booth buddy here. What did you do to my arm, you idiot? You idiot!
It's the arm getting caught?
People are watching this.
Nate.
Oh, he's so unprofessional.
You gotta watch out for him.
It was twisted, and he did not untwist it. But when did you get so aggressive? You're supposed to be all, like, cute.
And
all of a sudden, he's like, oh, who knew you were such a diva?
If I got my arm twisted, I'd be kind of bent out of shape as well, no pun intended.
Right?
Right.
Thank you.
Sorry, Nate.
Thank you, Thomas.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Well, Benny, thank you for your time. He
you're
fell.
So welcome.
He ran away.
I know this was about me, but, I was graced into existence by the one and only Adam Crudinger. His hands were upon this beautiful body.
Oh, gosh.
What is happening? It is late.
I'm going to let you guys go.
It is way past his bedtime.
Well, I can understand
it's
that.
Like my toddler slips in. He loves Bluey, so he slips into an Aussie accent when he
doesn't love
Snoopy
Bluey? Well, I will let you go and attend to Benny or your toddler or whoever else might be needing your attention at this time. But Nate, thank you so much for
Thomas, thank you. I'm so happy we were able to
allowing us to talk, catch up,
do this little thing, and
reminisce.
Catch up. This was fun. It just happened to be recorded, and maybe some other people will enjoy it as well.
Absolutely.
But in the guise of folks, please go to Puppet Nerd, follow it on YouTube. They're going to keep that YouTube up, and there's so much good content on there. And Crudinger Puppets.
Yes.
And just look up the stuff. Adam Crudinger. Puppeteers, you can see on his podcasts, still on YouTube. Puppeteers, spelled Tears. A bunch of episodes. I got to do one solo. It's not fun to watch on YouTube because my Wi-Fi was awful and the webcam is just so it's just better to listen to it. But really great chats about the puppet world, and if you're interested in puppet building,
that sounds awesome.
He's Adam was just a master craftsman and created beautiful work across the board for a lot of things. And of course, for the Sanders sides, which are stunning. I just love them. They were so fun, and they were so fun to play.
Yeah, you did such a good job. Are there any socials or projects that you would like people to know about?
Ooh, plugs. So I hopped off of the socials when my kid was being born, just kind of as a talk about mental health.
No problems there.
Right. So I'm not on any of the social medias other than the LinkedIn.
Wow.
So you can find me on the LinkedIn. I do have a YouTube page, but NateBegle.com, which you saw in the video, it's my name. You can probably see it here in the Zoom window. Just NateBegle.com. You can see a lot of the stuff that I'm working on. You know a little bit of this life, having done some of the voiceover stuff that you've done. I have a lot of NDAs at the moment.
Oh, yeah.
I'm waiting to un-NDA.
Sure.
But yeah, there's lots of cool series and things like, and I've do a lot of, right now, primarily do a lot of animation. I have a few video games that happened before the strike and are in production.
Ooh.
Video games you record like 3 or 4 years ahead of time before they come out. But I have a couple games that are coming out that I wrote a bunch of voices for, and a couple series. But I'm also doing a lot of dubbing for, especially during COVID, the dubbing thing exploded.
Wow!
During COVID and during the strikes, where nothing new was being made, and then other countries were like, "Hey, we want English voices on our cartoons," and so I got to do a bunch of those that are coming out pretty soon.
Dang.
As well. So yeah, look at my IMDb. I think some of them are popping up on my IMDb. That's when I know that I can talk about them. Actually, I have to go. It's on there.
That's awesome.
I can talk about it.
That's awesome.
But yeah, I got to a cool little fan. If I want to nerd fan out a little bit, you know Pokemon.
Yeah.
You know that thing. Pokemon, which I didn't know until recently, is the most profitable IP in history.
Wow.
I looked it up. It's literally because I went. So my son, his cousin is 7, and he's into Pokemon. My son is 3, and so now all of a sudden he's into Pokemon, and I'm like, all right, man, you're into Pokemon. That's awesome. And so I started to play on. If you got the Amazon on the Amazon Prime Video, you got the original seasons of Pokemon. And Pokemon started like 1998.
Yeah.
Right? That's when I remember seeing it.
Yeah.
I graduated school in the 1900s, friends. I graduated school in the 1900s. So it was kind of lost on me. I was already aged out of Pokemon when it hit.
Yeah.
But I remember it when it hit. But I still watched the show. I was super into like Dragon Ball. Like I loved that kind of stuff. But like the anime, the Pokemon show was great. So cut to I'm part of a show from the same company that created Pokemon called Winsing, and they have this show in China. It's called GG Bond. It's been on for like 20 years, but they've revamped it and repackaged it and changed up and stuff and wanted to make it a little bit more global, and it is now called Kung Fu Pork Choppers. And the Kung Fu Pork Choppers.
This sounds like an app game.
Yeah, but it's a series. Look it up. You can see it. You can see a bunch of the clips on YouTube, I think, of Kung Fu Pork Choppers. But the cool nerd thing for me is that I get to play quite a few characters in this show. And the main hero pig of the Kung Fu Pork Choppers is voiced by the great and beautiful Veronica Taylor, who is the original Ash Ketchum.
Whoa!
So it's pretty cool to be on that show with her, and she could not be lovelier.
Wow!
Anyway, so
that's neat. So you've gotten to actually like interact with her.
Yeah, we've done, as it's been in development, and we've been, they get made, and then before we get to the dubbing. Dubbing is a whole different beast for folk that don't know. Like, it's in one language, and then it has to get translated, and then it has to talk about lip sync, right? It's
right.
Part of how I fell into dubbing was through puppetry.
Yeah,
and how it kind of becomes an innate skill to know how to lip sync and to match flaps. And they call it flaps for animation, to match the lip flaps for the dialogue that you're given. And so that becomes a timing thing, not too dissimilar to the way I was basically dubbing you as the characters, but using a puppet. But as a voice actor doing dubbing and doing anime, it's the same thing.
Wow.
Right? You get the scene, you get the script, but through that process, it gets translated, and then it has to get adapted to kind of fit what has already been animated, because 9 times out of 10, the English translation of the original language, it's not going to fit with what it was. It was animated in the original language, right?
Yeah.
That makes sense. So then it goes through an adaptation process to kind of make it make sense and also make it fit the flaps. And then it becomes the dubber's job to be able to make that sync that timing and match the flaps with the new dialogue or the English dialogue that's been given. So,
Dang.
Yeah. So there's been like Zooms and stuff like that and chats of all the characters and just kind of for each episode and just so everybody knows what's happening because it's wild and wacky and fun.
Everybody should be on the lookout for that. That's Kung Fu Pork Choppers.
Kung Fu Pork Choppers. It's really fun and funny.
It feels like a sequel to Samurai Pizza Cats.
It does, doesn't it?
Wow.
Yeah, they're like it's like they travel through space and they go to different dimensions and things and different planets and they have superpowers, but then they lose the superpowers and then they get armor like Power Rangers in order to get their superpowers, and they have vehicles and animals, so it's a combination. It's like Power Rangers meets pigs in space.
Yeah, all the things that you could
bring
ever
it back
want.
To the Muppets, it's like pigs in space.
It's like pigs in space
with Power Ranger suits.
That's amazing.
Kung Fu Pork Choppers. Pretty fun. Anyway.
That sounds awesome, Nate. I'm glad that you are booked and blessed.
Booked and blessed. Very busy always. Yeah.
That's so exciting.
Which is I love it. Again, it's what we love to do.
Yes.
But Thomas, oh my gosh. But yes, my phone is always open for you. My calendar will get cleared. Hold all my calls. Cancel all my meetings. I gotta go to Thomas's house and film a puppet thing.
We gotta do something.
Hours.
We gotta do something. It is always such a freaking joy talking with you, Nate. I really appreciate it.
And thank you for doing this for Adam, doing this great live stream for Adam, and have so much fun on it. And
I appreciate it. Yeah,
we'll touch base soon.
See how these sock puppet creations go.
I can't wait.
Show me
them. Send me
I'll send you a picture of what mine ends up looking like.
I want a video. I want your sock puppet that you make to send me a video. Send a video to my son Breck.
Okay.
Like, hey Breck, whoever that becomes to be, just say hi to Breck.
Yeah, Breck, when you get a little bit older, you're gonna stumble upon vines, and that was me.
You're like,
your passion right now is Pokemon?
I sent you the sock puppet video when you were 3.
Next is gonna be vines. All right, Nate. I appreciate it. I'm glad that you're doing well. So good seeing you too. Love you so much. And
love you too, buddy.
We'll talk soon. I appreciate all of this. Thank you, dude.
Thank you, man. Have a good night. We'll talk soon.
Take care. You too.